Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So hey, I wanted to kind of hit you guys up with this video because I think that it's always good for people to prepare. So we're going to jump into this video from the Epic Economist. Be ready for something major that is coming to America. Now you guys let me know in the comments, is your tail twitching as well? Do you feel like something's coming and you just don't know what it is, but you could feel it in your gut? You guys let me know in the comments if you feel that way as well and what you think it might be.
Look, if you're watching this, you already feel it. Something's off. The economy, the job market, the way people are talking, it all feels like we're heading towards something big. These videos you're about to see today, they're not crazy people. They're regular Americans who are paying attention. And more importantly, they're taking action. The question is, are you? Because warnings are useless without a plan. So, today, let's build you one.
You realize that something's coming, right? You understand that something is happening, and a lot of people are preparing for what is about to happen, and it's going to happen. I know somebody's going to be in the comment section saying nothing is coming, but people are preparing for what is happening. Things are just not right. You have inflation, and we've been going through inflation for the last 5 years. It is becoming unbearable for people. The job market is an absolute disaster. The cost of living, property taxes, water, electricity, that no wonder people are trying to move completely off grid. It's so critically important that you prep with what you can, because today's dollar is not tomorrow's dollar.
And when you do prep, make sure you're prepping with things that you actually like and that you need. Try to avoid, those things that are big sellers. Like me and my guy are going to test on our channel, like some prepper foods and equipment, and let you guys know what we think it is and whether or not it's good. And the cool thing is that me and my guy have different, palates. So what he might like, I might not like, and we'll just kind of be real with you guys. But let's keep going.
That is something I want to have you guys understand. Something is coming, and you should be preparing. Be preparing as hard as you can, because when something does happen, there's going to be nobody to save you. Remember this: no one is going to save you.
This isn't me trying to fearmonger, this is just me trying to prepare you. The US economy right now is like a Jenga tower with 18 fucking pieces missing. We are one piece pulled out away from everything just toppling down. AI was responsible for 40% of US GDP growth this past year and 80% of US stock growth. And the manufacturing industry has contracted for 7 consecutive months, while every other economic indicator is saying this is as bad as things have been since 2009. Now, when you have a sentence that says the economy is as bad as it's been since 2009, you are fucked. So again, this is not me fear-mongering, this is just me preparing you. Our economy is in a very bad place. If you have a job, hold on to it with everything you have.
Previously, I recorded a video on the stages of an economic collapse, and during that video, we were in stage 1. However, now I'm under a different impression, and I believe that we're currently moving into stage 2. Because the effects of the current economy are no longer isolated to just the markets, it's starting to hit businesses and families as well. Foreclosures are currently rising in several states, and layoffs are kind of ticking up in manufacturing and tech sectors. And at the same time, banks are tightening their lending standards. And we're starting to see the economic pressures manifest in everyday life through things like reduced income, limited credit access, and declining consumer confidence. It is still not yet a full economic collapse. The evidence shows that protective barriers between financial markets and the real world economy are starting to break down. So this government shutdown is nothing to play with. And the lack of income, or even just some homes being affected by having one income, is definitely starting to have real world effects on everyday people. And they might put some type of stabilization efforts in place, but we'll be able to see if those stabilization efforts are able to intervene in time. And sadly, with the current government shutdown, I'm unsure if the efforts that they put in afterwards will help recover the economy in a way that positively impacts families.
So, you just heard the warnings. Now here's what actually matters. Information access. You see, when things go sideways, the first thing that disappears is your ability to look things up. No internet, no cell service, no YouTube.
And that's one of the important things. Like if you try to become a prepper, I would say my advice would be this. So my guy, like I told you guys before, he started prepping way back in 2009. When he used to watch Alex Jones and Jesse Ventura. And when COVID hit, when I lived in Texas, when we moved to Texas and that hit, I had family members calling me up like in a panic saying, what do we do? What do we buy? What, stuff like that. And the one thing that I could tell them is it's never too late to start prepping. Start today. Let's say, and I understand that, some people's budgets might be tight, but make sure you're buying stuff that you like, okay? So look at shelf life. Definitely Google it. I'll try and add links to my description so you guys can see what I found in regards that I used to help me figure out stuff. But you definitely want to look for stuff that tells you shelf life. So, good things to buy are like seeds. Other good things are like rice, beans. You definitely need protein. So, cans of tuna. If you don't like tuna, you're going to have to try and figure something else out. But you definitely want to get things that have good shelf life and make sure you're rotating them. And you can always just add them to your costs. So what I used to do when money was tight was I would add a can or two here and there every time I'd go get grocery shopping. And before I knew it, I had a big pile of the items, because eventually it starts getting bigger and bigger and building. So I would definitely recommend you guys start, as soon as possible, and again, I understand, stuff is tight, but you really need to start preparing yourself, especially with what's going on with the EBT thing. People are threatening to rob people and to steal from stores or to steal from people that come out the grocery store. So you definitely want to, watch your six.
Tutorials. Most people don't actually know how to do anything.
That's the other thing. I'm glad he mentioned it. Is download, hardcover things. It's always good to have stuff, hardcover, because if an EMP happens or you end up getting blocked from the internet, like what China does to their people, you want to be able to have access to this information. So always, having hard copies definitely helps.
They just know how to Google it. Fix this now. Get a USB drive and download practical guides so you can look at stuff offline. Medical treatment basics, water purification methods, food preservation, repair manuals for your automobile. Make it organized, make it searchable. Now here's a critical step. Print the essentials. Print, remember print? 20 pages of core medical knowledge, water purification, local edible plants. Electronics fail, batteries die, paper always works. Next, communication plans. Figure out how your family reconnects if phones don't work. 3 specific locations with addresses. 1 close, 1 across town.
Also, one good thing to have, I actually have it on my phone. There is a thing called, I believe, let me look at it because I had it on my phone. I think it was called Car Pilot. They actually have it where you could download maps to your phone that are offline. And when I was traveling, and there's dead zones when you drive, from throughout the United States, because I had Car Pilot, I was able to get from A to B without any interruptions, versus if I was using my Apple Maps or Google Maps, because it requires internet, it was giving me like misdirection, or it was just conking out on me, versus having that. I would also recommend buying actual physical maps, because definitely that would help you. But for some people, they're going to have to learn how to read it, where, us older people, Gen Xers, we kind of already know how to do that, because, that's what we lived off of back in the day, Google Maps, when we had to download them. But you definitely want something like that as well.
1 outside the city and test your plans. Drive those routes now. See which roads clog up. Find alternate paths. Your brain doesn't work right during crises. So you need these routes in muscle memory.
Yep. Practice,
Here's how
practice,
you'll
practice.
know it's not just a blackout, but the blackout. It starts just like any other outage. But here's the difference. Within 6 hours, your phone's dead. By the end of the first day, no ATMs work. On day 2, the grocery store shelves are bare. And by day 3, neighbors stop smiling, they start watching. You'll feel it in your gut, because this isn't a downed line, this isn't a temporary glitch, it's a silent reset. One no one warns you about until it's already begun.
Yeah.
And if you wait to confirm it's real, it's already too late to prepare. Comment too late if you feel that chill in your spine.
In any major event, there's a 24-hour window where things are going bad but haven't turned to chaos yet. Stores are open, ATMs work, but you can feel it. You can feel it shifting. Most people waste this window. Don't. Hour 1 to 2, ATM, pull cash, small bills, 20s and under. Hour 3 to 6, water first, not food. Water disappears fastest. Get as much water as you can carry. Hour 7 to 12, fuel. Fill your car. Fill.
They tell you that during a natural disaster. So, like, let's say if you have a power outage, for example. So, let's say, for example, you have a power outage, right? And so, one of the things they tell you to do, because you never know how long the power outage will last. Like, we had one when we were in Texas. A hurricane had hit, and our power was out for a whole week. So the first thing I did was I filled up our sinks, our tubs. I filled up any canister I could find with water, because water is essential. So you definitely want to do that. You want to prepare for any type of situation or scenario. So, making sure you're always up on everything is always important and vital in order for you to survive. Also, going gray man. That means that just because you have, for example, like, let's say you do have preps, right? You don't want to go out there looking all porky, like a really healthy person, and while everybody else is, looking dirty or looking like they're starving. You want to still go gray man, where you're following what they kind of look like, make yourself look disheveled, and go to those bread lines where other people are going, because you want to still play that part, because you don't want them to know what you have, and you don't want them to come take your stuff. That's also another good rule, is don't tell anybody, because honestly, you can't trust anyone. And I get it. You want to, take care of your family members or whatever. But what happens if one of your family members gets snatched and they know that you have massive preps? Guess what? Now the person that kidnapped them, that threatened their life or their children's life, are going to snitch on you so that they can take your stuff. So, it's always good to play that rule where you play it close to the chest. You want to be cautious, and you don't want to tell everybody what you have, so that you can better protect your items. Also having, stuff stockpiled, but have these rations hidden in different spots on your property or places that nobody's going to look, and have it marked somewhere, using special code words that only you and select people know, so that they know where to get these rations if you have to flee and bug out from your location. So it's just good to be, like I said, always 10 steps ahead.
Extra cans if you have them. Hour 13 to 18, food. High calorie, non-perishable only. Don't forget peanut butter, oil, rice, beans, canned goods, yeah? Hour 19 to 24, pharmacy, prescriptions, basic meds. After 24 hours, stores close or become dangerous. You don't want to be there. And here's the hard part, knowing when to leave entirely. Yeah. Most people wait until it's obvious to everyone. But then highways are jammed, gas stations are empty, and you are trapped. The right time to leave is when it feels too early, when neighbors aren't leaving it, when you might look paranoid. Once everyone knows they need to go, nobody can. So, move early.
The warning signs are here. A full collapse of the US dollar hasn't happened yet, but the global response shows that confidence in its future is quickly eroding. Foreign central banks are increasing their gold reserves at the fastest pace in decades. China has been accumulating steadily for years, and Russia has already reduced its dollar exposure to near zero. BRICS nations are actively working to undermine the dollar's dominance, bypassing the dollar.
Yep, and I believe they signed some more people to the BRICS nation. That's the one that's opposite of NATO, because they are, and if they and China wants to become the superpower, so they're definitely trying everything in their power to overthrow the United States and the American dollar. So I'm not surprised by that at all. Like I said, I don't know if it's a collapse coming, but I do know sometimes I feel like we're in the fourth turning, and that's usually like 80-year intervals, and I believe it's like 80 to 100 years, and I believe we're supposed to hit ours in the time of next year when we hit the 2026, which is our like centennial or whatever. Like our 250 years, because usually after 250 years, usually whatever empire collapses. So it's like going down that line, but with everything that's been happening, like we've been getting hit with like apocalyptic stuff left and right for like a couple of years now. Like it seems like since 2017. So it's just escalating, and you're kind of wondering, like, is this the time? Is this the time? But yeah, they're on point with what they're saying.
The dollar entirely. The world has seen this before. Once global trust fades, all bets are off. Foreign governments reduce exposure, alternative payment systems form, political instability takes center stage. Growth slows and inflation becomes entrenched.
Grandma, do you remember the Great Depression?
I do. It was in 1932 when the Depression started. And there was no job, there was nothing. Everybody was on welfare. And so a lot of them were going far away to see if they look for a job. Some they stay, some was in welfare. But I don't know how long it lasts, but it is quite a bit.
How old were you?
I was 13.
You were 13? I think the Great Depression started in 1929 or 1930. Who was president?
Hoover.
Hoover. Okay.
Yeah, that I remember. Because nobody liked him, but he was there. Couldn't do nothing about it.
Why didn't they like him?
Because there was I guess, because there was a lot of poor people, and Hoover wasn't Hoover
helping?
Huh?
He wasn't helping? He wasn't helping?
And Hoover, during the Depression, Hoover is for the rich people.
Okay, let's talk about what nobody wants to discuss. Other people become your biggest threat in any collapse. Every economic crisis in history shows the same pattern. Violent crime spikes. Desperate people do desperate things. So plan this for now. First, avoid crowds. Downtown, shopping, areas, any gathering. Avoid it all. Crowds become mobs very fast. Second, don't stand out. Don't look wealthy. Don't look prepared. Wear normal clothes. Drive an average car. Be forgettable. Nobody should notice.
Amen.
Nobody should remember you. Thirdly, secure your home quietly. Reinforce from the inside where it's not visible. Don't put obvious security. That advertises you have something worth taking. Fourth, know your area's geography. Yeah? Where's the nearest high crime area? What direction from your house? What routes would people use to leave the city? Work that out. Now, if you're between desperate people and resources, you're in a bad position. Hardest lesson? You'll have to turn people away. Unprepared neighbors will ask for food. Friends who ignored the warnings will want help. Decide right now.
You don't want to be like the grasshoppers. You want to be like the ants. and prepare.
Where your line is, saying yes to everyone means your family does not survive. Make those decisions now with a clear head, not emotionally during crisis.
What's coming won't be a quick flash and then you're gone. America's on the verge of civil war. Right now, we're looking at the long, slow process of societal collapse. We're going to see empty shelves at the grocery store, long lines at the gas stations, hoping that there's gas by the time you get up there to the pump. Long-term blackouts. It could be in the dead of winter. We're going to see contaminated water supplies, hospitals overwhelmed, and some areas may even see checkpoints. The closer you live to cities like Portland and Chicago, the worse it'll be. But the truth is most Americans will survive it. They'll just be cold, desperate, and hungry. Right now, you should be storing food and water, finding alternative heat and power sources, learning basic medical skills, and finding people around you that you trust, building an actual community. The ones joking about nuclear fallout, they'll be the first ones begging for help. I encourage everyone to become a prepared family. Don't wait until it's too late, until you're begging in the food lines with the rest of the panic masses. Let me hear from you in the comments. What are you doing this week to make sure that your family is more prepared?
So, the final piece, building an actual community, not your current neighbors, a strategic community. You need people with skills you don't have. Medical knowledge, mechanical skills, security backgrounds, gardening experience. They need to be prepared too. You need to find these people. You need to find these people quietly. Don't announce you're prepping. Have normal conversations, drop in subtle hints, yeah? Prepared people will pick up on signals. That nurse down the street, that mechanic, the veteran. Identify useful people and build relationships slowly. Share knowledge, trade skills, create loose networks. Don't organize meetings. That draws attention. You don't want that. You gotta keep it casual, start understanding barter now. When money fails, trade becomes everything. Yeah. What can you offer? Can you offer medical knowledge, repair skills, security, food preservation? These become currency. And the last thing, mental toughness matters more than supplies. People survive because they adapt fast mentally. They accept reality and they make hard decisions without freezing. Train that now. Make hard choices in small ways. Practice choosing logic over emotion. Practice acting while others hesitate. Your move right now. Pick one thing and do it today. Today, download one guide, set one rally point.
So I just wanted to share this with you guys because I feel like it's important for you guys to be prepared. I know my channel is still kind of small, but I definitely think it's something that everybody should be trying to do for themselves. I've watched like the Canadian Prepper, obviously the Epic Economist. I've watched several different preppers that are online that I follow, because I want to make sure that I'm preparing myself not only physically but mentally. So definitely you also should start working out, and you can start small, like I said, and build up not only your body and your mind but your preps. And just remember, there are going to be times where you might have to leave all that behind and like bug out. So you need to make sure that you're also prepping for in case you have to leave, and making sure you have everything you need in case you do. Come up with code words, come up with location meetups, have specifics for whoever you're going to be with, so that they know where to meet up with you in case, the shizzy hits the fizzy. Because you never know, especially in today's climate, it is getting insane out there with everything that's going on. And it's just wrapping up like every single day. It seems like something else is popping off and it's getting worse and worse. And we have no clue if there's an off-ramp at this point. And it's like you're getting it from all fronts, whether it's a pandemic, whether it's threats of World War III, whether it's threats of civil war, whether it's the economy collapsing. It's like it's always something. And I'd rather have you guys prepared and not have to worry about it than worry and not be prepared. So, drop a comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are on it. Are you feeling a little froggy, like you feel like something's gonna happen? And if you do feel like something's gonna happen, what are your thoughts of what's gonna happen? Like, do you think it's a civil war? Do you think it's actual World War III, an EMP, alien attack, zombie, I don't know, another pandemic? You let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I really appreciate you guys, and I want to thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. Till next time, guys. Bye.